right. Let's let this thing get going, and we'll have a chat. Be my first self-hosted live stream from the new digs, so we'll see how that all works out with technology. I'm on Wi-Fi, not cabled internet, so that'll be interesting to see if that works. I've got to work out how to what I'm allowed to do in the rental house in terms of cabling and stuff like that. What's up, Martin? How are you doing? Yeah, so I thought I'll wait for a few people to get on. So I've got 4 or 5 just jumped on. So, but I thought I'd get online, test out my streaming capability here, the new temporary headquarters for Big Board Gaming worldwide headquarters and all that fun stuff. And then might as well have some fun and have a look at the Compass Games holiday catalog and kind of have a look through that and see what's going on. I want to see one sad face. So I got downvoted already. You're a player. Thanks for winning. So we'll just keep going with that. So let's see. We've got. So I thought it might be cool to touch base on also what I'm up to in terms of gaming. I've been in a bit of a procrastination mode at the moment. Spent a lot of time the last 3 weeks moving into this place, unpacking stuff, but have gone through a wonderful cleansing of apparel and tennis shoes with holes in them and clothes that my wife has said, you know, that t-shirt's 20 years old. It's time for you to get rid of it. So we've done a lot of that stuff and obviously cleaned out a lot of the war games. I sold off a bunch of stuff and I'm taking a pretty large stack of games up to Dallas, up to the Advanced After Combat Con and giving them to a friend of mine who's then going to donate them to an auction, which will raise money for something. I don't know what it is, but pretty much most of the magazine games that I have not been able to sell to people or find someone who's interested in, they go on bye-byes. We'll just donate them off. No buffering, cool. Yeah, and I'm going to bring up, unfortunately, I think just because of the limitations of StreamYard, and I did not turn on OBS this morning to check it before I started streaming. So I'm going to share the catalog on the screen with you, and it's probably going to be a little pixelated, but if you don't, and you know what, I'll put the link to the catalog if I can find it now. Well, you guys can go to the Compass Games. If you're on the Compass Games email thread, you've probably got the catalog anyway. You can follow along that way and see it in high resolution, but that's a thing. All right, so I said I've been procrastinating, and what that means is that I've set games up to play. I haven't done anything. I've got Scenario 4 from the Third Winter set up, and I'm excited about getting that going. I'm daunted by the density of units, number one, and number two. You know, whenever I do OCS gameplay, I'm always thinking about how the experts play and all those beautifully structured lines and all the rest of it. And when I start looking at it, I go, okay, if I drive right through here and get myself out of supply, that would be awesome. So I'm a little reluctant, but I have recorded one video looking at strategies for both sides. You'll probably see that in the next couple of days. I just released a Hanu video for Decision Games. I've got that campaign game set up, and we'll get started on that hopefully today. Once we do this video, I will be rolling off to go play either or both. Still have not set up Hanu. I've got all the pieces out and been looking at the different units and bits and pieces like that. So we'll talk more about those two games in a little bit, but let's have a look at the Compass Games. I just realized my dog is on my chair. You're not supposed to be there, buddy. What you doing, Scott? You look very happy, huh? Good boy. Yeah, just stay here. That's cute. All right, let's bring this up. Let's add this to the stream. We'll do it this way, and then I'll zoom in a bit. Well, actually, let's try and make this a bit bigger. I can do full screen in a sec. But so if you guys can tell me, first of all, can you see? Let me move me off of here. That will help. And I wanted to bring up BGG because we want to look at the actual games as well if they're listed on BGG. So we'll search for them there. And then let's make this a little bit bigger, and then hopefully you guys can see all this, and we'll dig in a little bit. So just give me some feedback in the comments if you could on quality of imagery there. If it's super pixelated, I can zoom in a bit, and maybe that'll make it better. So one of the first things, when I look at these products, and I look at the catalog, there's so many games here that it's often a little bit of a challenge to make your mind up about all this stuff. And some are easy for me to say, I'm not gonna get into it, either because it's a narrative-driven solitaire game, or it might be a little bit more of an involved solitaire game, which I might be more interested in, a little more, decision making and stuff like that. But then again, what I like to, obviously I have a preference for Hex Encounter, area movement, and anything up to sort of operational scale. I'm not a grand strategy guy, as I've found out the hard way, although I have played a few games. So anyway, and you have to pardon me with my sort of gaseous nature today. I've had a very upset stomach for the last 3 or 4 days. I'm taking some new medicine that's messing with my world. All right, so I'm going to assume, since no one's commented yet, that the can only read the larger type, not the game descriptions. Yeah, well, we'll dig in a little bit here. Let's see if we can. And I'm probably going to read the ones I'm curious about off anyway, guys. So hopefully that'll help. And Martin, thank you for the feedback. That's very helpful. And I probably need to get rid of that. So, all right, let's have a look at. So here's the things where it's a card-driven game, right? Barbarians at the gates. And let's see. Chris Van Bearden, Europe in Turmoil, card-driven game for 2 players set during the final century of the Western Roman Empire. $69 for a card-driven game. So what are we doing here? It's a point-to-point game. It's a unit scale of 5 to 10,000 troops per counter by the looks of it. A bunch of cards, 2.5 counter sheets with rounded corners. Looks like you can play it out in a couple of hours. So what does it actually look like? Now, I guess the other site we could go to is indeed Compass Games itself. I love looking at the Compass Games catalog. It's something that just brings back old memories, I think, of back in the day when we used to get catalogs in the mail. And I remember reading the SBI newsletter and going, wow, what are all these cool games that are available in America while I was living in Australia. Thanks for that. Barbarians at the gate. There we go. Let's see if we can get some images up on this bad boy. Okay. Cards. So right off the bat, probably not something I'm going to get super excited about, I'm guessing. No picture of the map. I would, the two artwork covers. So this may well be, looks like it's early 2022, so it's probably still in development. So we're probably going to put that on pause and go, we'll wait and see what comes of that one. And there's a cat. I'll be right back. Hang on 1 second. I gotta let the cat either in or out. Kitty, what do you want? Go on. Oh, you're at the window. I see. Well, you're screwed, dude. I can't let you in. Go on. Get it. We've got these blinds at the window. And I can't show you them because I can't turn the camera. Well, actually, well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, there's these blinds that are really kind of goofy, and they're hinged on the inside. They're kind of like those blinds you might see down in Florida, right? Where the big wooden blinds, and you can't pull them up or down. They're hinged in a frame, and so you've got to open the door, the window door, and with the blind door to let things in and out. And I've got my desk, jammed up against the table. Okay, all right. So let's see what else we got. Neil is on. Hey, Neil and Eves and Andrew. Good for joining. Okay, so thanks for joining. Battle Hymn Volume 2. Now, I'm curious. This is the next one we're going to look at. I don't know if you can see it. We're going to zoom in a little bit here. There we go. I'm kind of curious about this. After playing the first module, I enjoyed it. It's certainly a lot lighter and more abstract than many other tactical scale ACW games, and I'm not an ACW expert by any means, but just having read a lot of the rule books and attempted to play great battles of the American Civil War, and I've obviously played great campaigns, which is not tactical, and I have played Herman Luttman's system, which I really quite like, and I've read the Last Chance for Victory system rules now twice, but have not played yet. I can tell you that Battle Hymn obviously builds on Eric Lee Smith's prior system back in the SBI days, but it's obviously updated and refined, and it plays really well, and the artwork is great, and the counters are great. So if you're into or want something that's a fast player, I think it's a great entry point into ACW. But if you're a crunchy guy that wants all that super detail, probably not for you. So I'm tempted to look at that guy. Now, these games up here, I don't really know very much about the War of 1812, and I've been curious to find something that is not a area movement based game that covers the Great Lakes frontier, right? However, this is a card-driven game, which means it's probably a deck builder. And let's have a look on the website and see if we can find out a little bit more about it. What's it called? 1812. So let's go here, because I'm curious to see more about this particular one. And okay, this pay later thing always gets me a little confused here. So we can have a look at the map. Now, these obviously, when I'm showing you these images, these might be very difficult to see, but you might want to just jump on the Compass site yourself. Look at that, quite pretty. So is this a naval-oriented game? It looks like it might well be. Yeah, naval and land actions. Oh, okay, so we're really only using, I see, it's just following the trails. And then the naval action, then trails and roads. Very cool. Okay, interesting. All right, counters. Lots of little shippies. Card-driven strategy game that simulates the naval and land actions fought in and around, or on and around, Great Lakes of North America during the War of 1812. This is a two-player game with either player commanding the naval and land forces of the United States of America or the British Empire. Okay. Any other details here that we should be interested in? This looks quite curious. I'm just wondering if it's a hand-building, deck-building type of game, or whether you're pulling and playing what you carry in your hand. Does anyone know? Medium complexity, seasonal turns, 55 miles per hex, 1.5 hours to play, but 9 hours for the campaign across 3 maps. Strategy cards, combat cards. I probably, once again, this is a 2023 release, so no need to sort of jump on the pre-order bandwagon for that bad boy just yet. But that looks really interesting. I'm going to flag that guy as being one. Where's my little list that I printed out? Because I printed this off, but the print quality from the PDF wasn't super good. So I'm going to mark this guy as a candidate to potentially pre-order later this year, early next year. Very nice. Okay, so let's go back to the catalog. Now, 2040, an American insurgency. Can you guys see that? Do you know much about it? I'm just looking here to see what you guys are saying. My apologies. I'm getting a little excited about some of these titles here. So Andrew is, where are we? Eve's Brian, I think, prioritized the paint up. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think this catalog's a great way. Once you get it's in your email, so you refer to it all the time. And then I printed it off, and I've picked this up half a dozen times already, and I'm like, oh, okay, what am I going to buy? I miss catalogs. I think they're cool. Yeah, and being in Australia just sucks when it comes to buying games. That's not cool. All right, what do we got here? Seeing LC behind you reminds me of how little these events are represented in wargaming. Yeah, well, that's a great poster. That's actually an original poster from the launch of LC in Italy. I bought that many, well, actually 2 or 3 decades ago, 2 decades ago. I've had that for a long time. Let's see. War for the Union, where is that? I'll have to find that one. We'll have a look. All right. Card assisted. Thank you, Heathwell. Did Gilbert Collins design a game? Well, we'll need to get to that one as well. I did not know that. Okay. All right. American Insurgency. 1 news cycle display and 1 counter sheet, 1 mounted map. Oh dear. Yeah, I just don't know what this is going to be like. I would need to learn a lot more about this before I made a commitment to 2040. I just potentially rife with current day nuances. Skip that. Air and Armor. I think everybody knows that I'm a huge Air and Armor fan. I've played that game several times in its original condition. The updated edition from Compass is going to be awesome. I am very excited about it. I've not played. I've interviewed the developer for this, Bruce, and the designer, I should say, and he is super excited about it as well. He's got a lot of new geographical improvements and formation counter sheet improvements. Getting things more accurate. The gameplay is going to be refined. There's going to be a solo module for it as well. So that's super high on my list. I think I've inadvertently ordered that twice. So we'll probably end up just doing a giveaway for one of those at some point in the future once it's released. Alexandros and Spartacus. Let's see. Yeah, so probably a hard no for me on those unless I got some really compelling updates on why I would need those particular 2 games. Like to see go along with all their expansions. So I just don't know anything about that particular system or game, and not sure. So it looks like it's going to be area movement, and generally speaking, that's probably something that's in the ancients realm. Given my fascination with the Richard Berg operational scale stuff, nothing I've seen in the marketplace yet has surpassed that capabilities. We've got a year or so to worry about whether or not we're going to get excited about that. So we'll hold on that. American Tank Ace. Well, here we go. Look, Gregory Smith, I think, has a dozen games coming out in the near future. And if you love solo games, I'm going to encompass all of the titles here that are designed by him that are solo oriented. You really ought to get on the bandwagon because he brings. At first I thought he really was just taking a generic system and then slapping it over some new counters and sort of have at it. But he is actually putting a significant amount of effort into giving you some more comprehensive gameplay, more decision making where he can, and thematically driving you into the position of the tank ace or the pilot or the captain of the ship or whatever the case may be, or the sub commander. And I think that's pretty cool. So I'll give him a hearty well done. Probably not going to buy all of his games. I will be picking up the Japanese sub game. I just interviewed him about that. I think you guys can check that out later. Hey, Michael, good to have you here. Yeah, we're looking at the Compass Games catalog, which is the heading for the actual YouTube video. Right, let's see. Coming across here, we looked at Barbarians. We talked about Battle Hymn, Bismarck. A compact strategic level solitaire game covering the last 5 days of operations of the most feared German battleship. Okay. Another card-driven game. Let's have a quick look and see what if we can see any more about that here on what did I do? Oh, it's missing a C. Okay, so it's going to be, well, that's some fugly mappage. Ugh. Nice counters, though. They're pretty cool little search planes. Huh. Well, that looks pretty curious. I'd be interested to see. Whoa. Who knows what that's all about? And then we can't zoom in on that stuff. Or can we? Yes, we can. Fire extinguisher. So it looks like we're going to be really working hard to sink that bad boy. What? That looks like a... oh, it's just a line through it. I thought it looked like a Japanese aircraft carrier. I was going to say, what's going on there? Damage, damage, damage. So obviously, we're going to require ships and aircraft to spot, some ships to sink. But I'm just looking for the British Navy. I don't see the counters. Oh, interesting. All right. Well, probably not my cup of tea, but certainly there are multiple types of units. Here we go. So we've got carriers, battleships, battle cruisers, destroyers, airplane bombers. Airplane bombers. That's a funny term. Interesting. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. Once again, this is mid 2022. Brothers at War. I know nothing about this. I don't know who Christopher Moeller is. 4 maps featuring different historical battlegrounds. The 4 different battles for the Brothers of War, the Cornfield. So we're talking about a ACW, Fox's Gap, Battle of South Mountain, Mill Spring, and War in the Territories. Pre-order price $74, 100 yards a hex, 1 turns 20 minutes, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what Brothers at War looks like. So many, all of a sudden, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but so many, and it looks like he's going to do a series of these because this is 1862. So many ACW systems bubbling up in the marketplace right now. Ooh, lots of artwork. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this. Okay. Say Antietam. It's a very small map. I wonder what size that map actually is. Huh. Interesting artwork too. I kind of like it. Counters. Nice, simple counters. Nice to see for a change that there's not little men, right? In little uniforms. I like the simplicity of that. That's very nice. Come on. Here we go. There's the Union forces as well. Oh, pretty. These are really nice maps. Got a unique style to them. Let's see. What is this? What are we looking at? Exhaustion levels. Okay. Player aids, pretty clean. Firepower, movement points. Cavalry symbols. Okay, well, that's all pretty stock standard stuff. I wonder how that'll play out. See, that would be really interesting. Let's mark that guy down. I think that might be worth having a look at. Brothers of War. All right. Let's go back to the stack. There is a St. Lo reprint coming, yes, but we'll get to that. Bear with me. We're going to hang out, take our time here to look at all this. Now, the Blue Water Navy 1 and 2, I missed the originals on all of this, and I've heard lots of good things about the Blue Water Navy series, and I'm very curious to dip my toes into the water. Oh, boom. I'm hilarious today. Covers the action on the west coast of the USA over to Vietnam. Wow. All right. 500 nautical miles. Oh, these are the area-based ones. Where are I thought there was this hex-based system they were flogging as well. Well, I'm curious about Blue Water Navy. Does anybody know anything about it? Okay, and now obviously John Southard's Philippine carrier battles, that's a way. I don't believe it's going to come out in 2022 from what I'm hearing. It'll be much later, but I am so on board with that action after having played the original carrier battles and paying an outrageous amount of money to obtain a copy. I'm pretty hooked on that. I like the combat system. I like the search system. It's great for solitaire. It's a solitaire game. It's designed for solitaire. Fantastic solitaire system. It's like playing a real war game, but with really robust solitaire rules. It's very, very well done. Coalition. Now, there's a handful of these types of Napoleonic Wars games out that are, okay, so it's going to be card-driven by the looks of it. And I was very curious about this, $45, which is a pretty decent price. The scope of the game is grand strategy with some operational components being the grand strategy, being the UK players launching successful coalitions to destroy France and the Empire. You will remember and reenact this flamboyant period, handling historical generals, armies, and event cards. All right, so we're going to have a quick look at that. What's called coalition? Good morning, Jeffrey and Agre. Good to see you. And Andrew, I think I said hi to you already. Didn't want to miss anybody there. Right, so let's have a look at this bad boy. Well, that is grand strategy, isn't it? Dear, interesting. Curious choice of words here. Coalition is a quick playing grand strategy game with operational elements that could recreate all the Napoleonic Wars in just one evening. I guess they're saying you could play it in one evening, not saying that it's got the potential to recreate stuff. Yeah, that's not moving me. All right, next. So combat, I think you guys all know about combat. I don't know very much about it and am not particularly interested in it at this point, but I'm happy to be wrong and have someone tell me otherwise. Andrew, are you saying that you have a copy? Oh, it's available now. I see. Look, I missed that. Yeah, good point. All right. Yeah, well, you need to check in with me and let me know how it plays, my friend. I'd be curious to know that. Let's go across over here. Cradle of Civilization. I've seen some folks setting that up and playing it. Not too sure what the story is. Looks like it's a pretty straightforward game based on the complexity level being offered up. Interesting that it's got a high-low solitaire. Must be different sets of rules. Reference cards, tiles. All right, let's have a quick look at that guy, Cradle of Civilization. I was hoping that Berg's GMT title, Byzantium or whatever, what was it called? I don't have it anymore. I sold it off. I was hoping that that was going to be the bee's knees of this sort of period, but that was not the case. Come on. Okay, is there a map? Here we go. Okay, so area movement, which is fine for this scale. Very interesting. I could quibble about the ability to move through certain areas, just given their terrain, but well, this looks cool. It looks different. And it looks interesting. What's it? It's got a box and a lid. Look at that. Sean and Daniel Chick. There you go. Okay, so this has got potential. Let's I wonder how that's all going to play out. I'd like to see some reviews of this particular game before I jumped on it, but that looks like an interesting title, and it's on sale, $60 down from 89. Nice. Crusader Revolution, been around for a while. I think this is isn't this a second release, or perhaps it's another module in a series? Don't know very much about it. Probably would like to know more about it, but we're going to move on from there and hit the big discount too, 129 down to 85. Okay, Death in the Trenches, strategic level World War I, covering the entire war in all theaters on an army level with divisional formation. Wow. How many counters are there in that bad boy? Death in the Trenches. Let's check that boy out. I know this may be incredibly tedious to a lot of you, but I'm enjoying having a look at this, and I thought we might as well talk about it. Saves me talking to myself, right? I'm looking over to my right here because that's where where your comments are. All right, let's have a look at this bad boy. Saves me talking to myself. Okay, so that's the off-map sort of minor area action, and then we've got Hex Encounter. Well, it really is strategic. How can it possibly be divisional scale at that? How many pages of rules is this? I wonder. 34 by 22 map. 450 counters. And it looks like they go, trying to go into a lot of different details. Flamethrowers and poison gas and crop guns. Royal Air Force. Rommel's mountain tactics. Gallienese taxicabs. Okay. Seasonal turns. 80-mile hexes. Well, there you go. March 2022. That's someone's going to have to sell me hard on that one. I'm not sure that's going to be my Huckleberry. Defending America. That's another Greg Smith game, so I'm just going to put that in the catalog of, man, if you like solitaire games, you need to get you something, right? Devil Boats. Joe Carter. Now that's interesting. I have read a little bit about this and very curious about PT boats in the Solomon Islands. Historically, relatively interesting. I wonder if this is built on a system that's similar to Greg's. Oh my gosh, the flanks of Gettysburg. How am I going to keep up with the ACW stuff? I ordered Enemy Action Kharkov. I totally collapsed on that. Had to get that. Enemy Action Ardennes is on sale. That must be back in stock. That must have reprinted. That's a pretty good price, $109. Now, the Eastern Front Quad games, I'm really curious about this. Thyssen is an interesting designer that I think he had a couple of games in Hollandspiel's catalog, and one of them I liked, and the other one it was not working for me. So I'd be curious to know more about how this is all going to hang together. And I love this sort of shout back to the SBI quad days too. It's kind of cute. Yeah, we can't really see any details. So I wonder. I would like to know a lot more about this before I get too bought in and too excited about it. And the fact that they're interesting. Okay, these are mostly Kharkov and Kursk related battles, which is cool, but they're smaller battles, which might be fun. And I've never seen titles representing these particular aspects, so I'm quite interested in that. Probably need to mark that bad boy down, right? I'm going to put a little star against Death in the Trenches. I want to follow up on that. I've got Enemy Action Ardennes, Enemy Action Kharkov. What am I saying? Yeah, I'm probably not getting Kharkov. This Enemy Action Kharkov. I don't believe I'm going to do that. I'm not sure I like the chip pool for combat in that particular game. All right, dog boats. Oh, so this looks similar to the patrol boat, the PT boat game, but a different designer, I think. Let's check. No, same guy. So it'll be the same system, different period, different geo. All right, I think that's that. So let's go across now. Flanks of Gettysburg. Poniski. Not sure how we pronounce that. Lots of traffic in the little circle here. I'm living in the neighborhood now. Let's see. All right, I guess we better have a look at this. Early 2023. So this looks like it might need a lot of work. So I think we're just going to move on from that. I've seen Granada up and being played already. Seems to be garnering a lot of positive comment. Don't know anything about it. 1 year turns. It has cubes, which is good, and blocks. So it's a block game. I don't mind a good old block game, but it is point to point. Not my favorite. I may have to have a little bit more of a look at that, but not going to jump on that right away. For the Motherland, another Masahiro Yamazaki, who is a fantastic designer. I would be very, lady, get out of my front yard. Get off my lawn. Bizarre. No, it's okay. Sit down. He's all excited. She's complaining about my driveway. How about that? All right. So for the Motherland, hey, sit. Come on. Let's see here. Where do we get to? The Motherland. I will be getting this game. Early 2023. We got time. I'm not going to put that on the list right now, but we will be buying it for sure. We're going to be spending some money by the looks of it. Hearts and Minds. I have I have not heard bad things about this game, but I haven't had anyone tell me it's the definitive Vietnam edition, and I know that there've been issues with the both first and second. So editions, I'd be curious to see what's improved or changed with Hearts and Minds before I jumped on it. Hitler's Last Gamble, another designer signature edition. Danny Parker. An unknown developer or designer to me, and it's probably says volumes about my lack of war game history knowledge. He's probably a fantastic designer. Give me reasons to want to get this, folks. I don't know. I don't know that I need another Bulge game right now. I'm just extremely disappointed with Time for Trumpets in my ability to learn that game, but I'm going to come back to it. I think it's the definitive release of a Bulge game that just is significant, I guess. And then I have The Last Blitzkrieg at BCS sort of scale. So those two games sort of fill my needs. And then when I want to play something that can actually be played in, a couple of evenings or over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, once a night on Vassal, Arden 44 scratches that itch. So I'd love to know more about this, but would need to be, convinced I need to do something about it. Now, here's the modern naval game that I was thinking of earlier on that I'd heard good things about, but had not jumped on the bandwagon. Gorkowski's system here. I've missed. I know that the original module came out and then sold out, and then they did a second edition. Lots of potential here, and I would like to look at this. My only hesitation is that there's the new fleet system that's being released as well, or re-released by Balkowski, and I love Balkowski. And so if I was going to lean towards anything, I'd buy the reprint or the designer edition of the Fleet series before I jumped in on this. But I'd be happy to be compelled to go do something else, And I might actually pick this up at $65. And so let's make a note on that guy there. Oh, what is this? So Neil is saying that Danny is the definitive Bulge designer. Well, I might take exception to that, mate. I think we've got Time for Trumpets with oh my gosh, I can't remember his name now. And I've met him and interviewed him as well. Anyway, you all know who I'm talking about. Who did the original Battle for the Bulge and then did Bitter Woods, I believe. So I'd be very, very curious to see why Danny's game would be better than any of. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Any of the Time of Trumpets designer. Oh, Bruno. Any of Bruno's games, like Bitter Woods and all those other titles that he designed. I'd like to know why. Right. That would be cool to hear that explained to me. Oh, hey, Jester, thanks for joining in. If you want to pimp your show, by all means, do you want to put an ad in now, buddy, or you can pay me for that? It's $5 to put an ad in my my live stream. You're good to go. I was actually going to give you guys all a shout out near the end and remind everybody about all of the fantastic streams coming up this afternoon. But since you pimped your own show today, we don't have to worry about it. So Indian Ocean is certainly on the list. And then let's carry on through here. Another Gregory Smith title, and then another Gregory Smith title. But this one, the Imperial Tide, I believe is, it's going to be built off of the Pacific Tide system. Not my cup of tea, but certainly interested in how that will play out. And I'd like to probably see some more details on it. Well, send me the money and we'll do a little ad for you, Jester. So Kharkov Battles sold, bought it. It's on its way. Contact Now. I've played this game back in its early iterations. I don't find anything compelling about it or different enough to make me want to drop $85. Plus, it has had a tortured development cycle, which I am intimately aware of, and I'll be waiting on reviews before I jump on that. Now, is Manassas, that's the old SPI system, right? Isn't or SPI game that's been redone? Is that correct? There are so many, like I said, there's so many ACW titles coming out that I cannot keep track of them all. I'd be very curious to know more about that, but I'm not big, deep ACW guy, so I'd be curious to hear more about that. Maori, man, you know, this game was on Legion for, I think, at least 2 years. It's got an amazing map. It is an odd topic, an odd historical topic. I'm not sure that I have enough compelling reasons to want to get this, though. I just don't understand what's fascinating about it from a historical standpoint. I like the fact that it's an esoteric topic, but even at $59, I'm finding that to be a bit of it's got a mountain map and all the rest of it. I get it, but it just seems like a pricey game for a pretty esoteric and probably limited replay value game. All right, Napoleon's Eagles 2. I think that this system has been doing well for itself, and it looks like it's on a decent price, $39. It's got a lot going for it, but it's I think it's more of a card-driven game, so probably not something I'm going to jump on right away. Now, Napoleon's Imperium, and here's a game that I've been very curious about. $119 is a bit of a stiff asking point, but let's see. My keyboard keeps going to sleep. I don't know how to stop it from doing that. Oh, fuck, right. What am I looking for? I'm looking for Imperium. Here we go. So let's see. Yeah, this is this pretty abstract grand strategy scale. I think this could have lots of potential if you're playing with a bunch of buddies. You got to get the multiplayer action going, though. Otherwise, it's just it doesn't look like it's particularly solo friendly, right? Nice looking game, though. Cute map. I like the circular map, right? The top down view, all that sort of fun stuff. It's almost like it's that looking for the polar ice cap out, but it's not. Anyway. Curious, but not curious at $119. NATO, own it. Reading the rules, have not played yet. Need to do that. No Motherland Without. Now, I don't know a card-driven strategy game, so here's where some of these card-driven strategy games can be awesome. And I'm hearing good things about this. Whoa, what happened? Great box art. Look at that action. Let me put this up on full screen. Maybe that would be better for you guys. Yeah, and then I see this and I'm like, okay, well, what's going on here? These little defectors. This is cute. Counters. Yeah, no idea. So that's a game where you're going to have to really, I would want to have a little more. Okay, it's a solitaire, high solitaire suitability. I would like to have a little more understanding of what's going on there. So maybe that's where, who designed this one? Dan Bullock. Does anybody know Dan Bullock? I'd like to interview him and understand how that game system works and hear more about it. I think that'd be pretty cool. It's on sale for $42. I'll put a circle around that one and maybe even see if I can get him on a designer dig dive, and let's have a chat about it, because it looks curiously interesting to me. Okay, now we're getting down into some other stuff. I have looked at Operation Storm 333, and it is not something I'm interested in. I think it's got lots of potential, but it's still a ways off, and I'm going to wait and see how the game evolves. Some of the prototype work I saw and the gameplay discussion that I saw, it was on a YouTube channel somewhere, gave me pause to think it needed quite a bit of work before it was going to be sexy. Let's see. Operation Crusader, sold. Next, if you love or like the African Front theater at all, and if you have ever played a Frank Chabot game, you know that that's going to be awesome. I wish it would come out earlier. I'm on a huge Africa kick at the moment, and sold. Pacific Tide, that's that card-driven stuff that I mentioned earlier on, which is all well and good, and probably an excellent little game. It's also another Greg Smith title. And John Prados' Panzerkrieg. Now, does anybody know much about this game? Let's have a look at the old Panzerkrieg. Where is Board Game Geek? Okay. Now, I think, and I could completely be wrong here, but I thought the Panzerkrieg, or is it Panzer Command? I thought that this title was a game that helped Adam Starkweather get design his company scale system that he did that used to be called something else over at MMP. I forget what it is now. So I'd be curious about that. This says operational scale. These are corps and divisions, so that's obviously not it. Then that's not what. That is not what Adam was using. That much is obvious. All right. Curious about that. Has anyone played the old version? Yeah, thanks, Duncan. You're right. It is indeed operational. We're certainly looking at the counters there. Oh, and Danny Parker did Ardennes Quad. Okay. Well, I have not really heard anyone say good or bad things about that old SBI Quad. And would the Hitler's Gamble title be built on the same system from the SBI Quad, Duncan? I'd be curious to know what you think. Let's see. Pontiac's War, another Ponsky game. I'm just reading this here. Yeah, I don't. Okay. Point-to-point system and a loose Indian alliances used in King Philip's War and Blood on the Ohio. Battle cards to introduce combat chaos. Well, early 2023, we can wait to worry about that bad boy. Russian campaign. I'm probably going to grab this guy. I have lost my original Jedko, the original Russian campaign game. I have a Avalon Hill replacement, and I have the L2 version. I'm not sure I need this, but there's a nostalgia call here for me that maybe I will grab it. I don't know, but I tell you what, it better be right? I would hate to pay, even at $40. I would hate to pay for a nostalgia buy and have that game come and then be, either bad counters, bad map, or mistakes in the rules. So, that's one of the things that needs to happen with these designer editions or these reprints is any publisher needs to get it right. I've ordered Russia Besieged Finnish expansion. I was not super excited about Russia Besieged. I thought it added a lot of chrome over and above the Russian campaign, over and above TRC, right? But I don't know that Chrome added a lot to the gameplay other than me looking up rules, because I'm so used to playing TRC that every time I went to do something, I had to go, oh, well, am I allowed to do that here? Does it work differently here? And things did work differently, and neither good nor bad, but I'm not sure that it added a lot of value, which is why I ordered the Finish expansion, because I thought that would be kind of cool to be able to play some more of that out and see what they do with that particular aspect of the campaign, right? Hey, Duncan, really good comments. Thank you for sharing all that, mate. All right, okay, so let's keep looking along here and having a chit chat. Schnellbots, that's going to be the same as the other two games, but different theme and different action. I don't know Joe, so I'm sure they're going to be awesome. If you're a solitaire guy, you probably want to jump on that action. Schutztruppe. I have seen this floating around here and there and don't know anything about it. And looks like it's a rework of Jim Bumpa's classic World War I game. Well, how about that? If anyone knows anything about it, let me know. I think if any of you guys follow my channel at all, you probably saw the interview with Greg. Sansui Khan really looks interesting. I'm not a big Hunters game player and all the rest of it, but that game looks fascinating because it does allow you to do a little bit of role playing and own a commander for a period, go through a career with the commanders. And I think that's pretty interesting. I've also, as we talk about subs, I've been fascinated by sub warfare from the perspective of sort of an overall campaign across the period of the war. And this is one of those ones where I think this might be interesting. The Silent War might just be an interesting title to jump into. Not too sure there. Sniper kill confirmed. Is anyone a card-driven solitaire war game? You take the role of a sniper and his spotter in search of your target and completing your mission. How random is that? Let's have a look at that guy and see what... Okay. All right, it's got a sniper on the playmat. Patrols, wounded, enemy sniper. Random hostile people. Looks like you're picking your kit. Feels a little bit like a sophisticated warfighter, maybe? Huh. Interesting. Okay, no idea. I'm oddly curious, but probably not jumping on it today, right? Is it out yet? And there goes my phone. All right, let's see what else we got. That can't be the end of it. There's got to be more here. Oh, there's another page. Okay, South China Sea, which ties back to that earlier commentary I was making that I would like to get into this system, but I want to think about it a little bit more for the because of Fleet coming out. So I need to circle. I got that guy. I need to circle the. I'm curious about this Panzerkrieg game, and I think I missed Rome Victrix, didn't I? I didn't talk about that, or No Peace Without Honor. Or Prelude to Revolution. What the hell? Well, so I missed a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to go back for a second here. Bear with me while I mark off games that I want to get. Let's see. Where did we get to up here? Prelude to Revolution. Okay, so Mike has had this in development for a while, and I interviewed Mike, and we had a great conversation about this title. It's a card-driven game, multiplayer, and it's got a lot going on for it. I'm very curious about it after speaking to Michael. I think it's going to be a great historical exercise and sort of educational game. Looks really, really interesting, and it's built on It's built on another system that I can't remember the name of now, but that's well worth having a look at. And No Peace Without Honor. I keep hearing great things about this title and have not had a chance to look at it or play it. Pre-order price $56. It's not bad, is it? Who knows? So much stuff. Spitfire Race. Let me guess. Greg Smith. Stellar Horizons. Don't know. What are we doing here? Building our own. Wow, that's expensive. That's big. That must be a big game. What do we got here? 38 world tiles. 18 counter sheets. Get the hell out. What does that map look like? All right, let's see what we got here, boys. Oops. Why is it doing? What am I doing wrong? Right. Okay, that's the box. Where is the... Okay, that's what world tiles. Can you see that? Yeah. A straight reprint. Okay. Was obviously successful because it sold out. Nice artwork. Look at all that action. That's so cool. I would love to be into sci-fi and games like that, but I'm just a chicken shit. Too fussy. Too busy. Lots of details. Look at all that. That looks like a huge game. Does that really say 18 counter sheets? It did. Wow. $96. That's pretty cool. All right. Test of Faith. What is this? Operational Scale Series. This is Starkweather, right? Yeah. No comment. I don't know. Tank Leader is back. Now, Tank Leader. Does anybody know about Tank Leader? Oh, there's a good comment from Agre. And St. Lo sold. Already ordered that bad boy. Never played that game, but I'm a huge Joseph Belkowski fan, and I pretty much buy all of his games, even the old 3W ones with the horrid artwork. I quite enjoy most of his titles, and I will continue to buy them when I see them. So John Hill's Tank Leader. Now let's have a look at that, because there are not a lot of games that are tank specific. See, I don't know why you keep doing this for me. Tank Leader. All right. Looks like we got no art. Well, that sucks. All right, let's go to BGG and see what we can find. You happy there, dog? Oh, I remember these. Okay. I have not played these games, but I remember seeing them previously. Yeah, that's some hideous art, isn't it? Look at that. Okay, so these, I wonder if these are companies of tanks, or are they individual tanks? Tactical platoon company level. Okay. All right, so designer signature edition again, right? So we can expect updated art on the counters, probably larger counters, and some decent maps, maybe. Oh, yeah, that's some 80s. Look at that. And it's a John Hill design as well, right? So $70. I'm probably going to have to jump on that bad boy. African Campaign had it and sold it. I was disappointed just with this is one of the first designer deluxe editions that came out. And I think there were a handful of snafus that were disappointing to me, but it African campaign played great. The game played well, just disappointed with some of the production issues that occurred. Let's see. Battle for Armageddon. Mo from Mo's Game Table keeps telling me about this, and he wants to get this on the table with a bunch of guys and play, and I'm down for that. So I may look at getting that. The Conquistadors, John Southard game, a partly card-driven, partly procedural game. Control a group of conquistadors. Yeah, see, I wonder if this is similar to that old SBI game that came out. I know someone else was trying to work on that as well. So I'd be really curious about this. Let's see if we can find some more artwork on that bad boy. Conquistadors. Conquistadors. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a pretty busy map. Point to point. I wonder why they chose point to point like that. What a shame. South America, awesome. Lots of counters. Pretty curious about that guy. All right, let's, okay, so I've heard good things about Battle for Germany from my buddy, and the Doomsday series, or this operational scale system, has now matured enough where prior to this particular release, Vietnam and Korea were extremely problematic, and I think Adams sorted out the system mostly. And so I am sure that the rest of these will be great. The Balkans, the enemies at the gates is the company scale stuff. That's matured a lot as well. I'd be curious about this game. It's World War III oriented, and it could be cool, right? It could be the Berlin at 85 version at company scale. 4 maps. That could be interesting. I'm probably going to get this guy just because I'm curious about the topic. I have ordered this by Chris Fawcett, The Fall of the Brook. I'm hoping that's going to come out on time. Have all seen me play the Korean War, of course, and just a very brief scenario on that. Some revised rules, cleaned up and updated, I think is probably a fair assessment of that. Extremely disappointed with the counter sheets. It's just a mess, and you're going to need to get replacements, but make sure you get the right replacements, because there are thin ones and thick ones, and that was just extremely disappointing to me. The Troubles, I tried to get Hugh on for an interview. We had it booked a couple of times, and then we had internet connectivity issues on his side. It's a sophisticated look at the Troubles, very historical, and probably a coin-oriented in nature. And if you're into that, then that's your cup of tea. You should go get that action. The Third World War, ordered that the day it went on release. It's Chadwick, and it's the Third World War. Played that system 7-8 times, the full campaign, opposed, and it's fabulous. And I can only hope that there will be some excellent updates to it, and no mistakes, right? The Late Unpleasantness. Now, these are a couple of games here, and the lamps are going out, 2nd edition. It's a big World War I game. Very curious about this, and also curious about the expanded and updated. I'd like to know more about what changed there, right? And why. This would be a pretty interesting. Here we go. Many of the economic and military factors have been simplified to make gameplay as easy as possible, while still accurately portraying the balance of forces, strategies, constraints. I guess we're doing a catalog. We got to make edits. So very curious about that. And pre-order price at $64. Probably want to get that action. The Late Unpleasantness. Oh, it's another damn. It's another damn ACW title. Darn it! Oh dear. So many. Oh, look, another Greg Smith game. War for America. Gilbert Collins. Oh, here's is the game that you guys were talking about earlier on. So is this the entire strategic game from American Revolution? Huh? Okay, I'm gonna have to get that. I want to, because I don't have a real good strategic level AmRev game, and I think that would be pretty cool at $60. The War and the War Pacific, I've heard really good things about these games, but once again, grand strategic, probably not me. Anything that's got BREs or BSPs or whatever they are, it's probably not my cup of tea. Victory at Sea, you know, classic, right? Why wouldn't you want to get that? All right, I think this is all just order form stuff. So look, here's the deal. There's a lot of great stuff coming from the Compass Games company. I can't believe where are we at here? Yeah, an hour and 10 minutes talking about their catalog and looking at these games and, you know, getting excited about stuff, right? It's amazing to me that so many interesting titles are coming out from Compass. Legion bringing out. You know, I look at Legion Games as a sort of a niche title developer, looking at sort of more esoteric titles. But you can see from the Compass Games catalog here that they're also bringing out a lot of niche titles and more esoteric situations. Operation Storm 333 with its, you know, focus on the fall of Kabul with the Soviets taking over, Grenada. And then, of course, all the reprints, which are, you know, if you want them, you want to get them, you get them, right? Because you want an updated copy, or you want to see what the new rules and new options might be. I think they're really bringing a fantastic mix of titles, and I've circled what 8 games, several $100s worth of titles, right? That I will be making sure I have on pre-order or already have on pre-order. So it's pretty great time to be a war gamer as we go through just with Compass, right? Now we obviously have other game manufacturers as well. Some of them are more focused on wargaming than others, and I'm very pleased with the production quality that's coming out of Compass recently. There've been some snafus, and they've always done right by us and fixed stuff. So I'm pleased that that's happening. It's cool. This is a good time to be a wargamer here. What's this one? Drop my pre-order. Oh, so you want to, now that's interesting that you say that, Hithwell, because I was talking to Greg about his Western Front Ace, and he believes that he has some of the most detailed and robust technical data and accurate data on Western Front around and available. And so you should connect with him and have a conversation, because he's super excited about the level of detail. He's one of his artists is a World War I flight nut, and has given him absolute buttloads of great information for his game. So you might want to check in. Maybe you need both, right? And I do want to thank the 2 people that gave me thumbs downs on the video of the first 30 seconds. I do appreciate that, because it shows that you care, and just the fact that you checked in, right? It's good to know. Here we go. 3 a.m. here. Andrew, check out. Thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out. And hopefully you'll buy a bunch of games and have some good times. All right, let's see what else. So I can't drag the camera around and show you the game room and all the stuff set up. So I'm probably going to let you. Yeah, see, I knew you couldn't resist, Heathwell. And by the way, I've been seeing your humorous memes posted on the Consim World community. They're very funny. So keep up the good work there. I think it's Facebook, mate. Don't worry about it. I don't really care. I'm just I can see the down faces here on my live stream. It just cracks me up. There's always some knucklehead who wants to be that guy. Anyway, so thanks everybody for joining in. I wanted to just hit a quick live stream before all the professionals get on this afternoon. We've got Jester's channel, who's doing a big giveaway. It's his 2nd anniversary. So if you want to win a game, hey, can I win a game, Jester? Like, am I eligible? So, you know, I might come and watch if I can. And then, so there's that. And of course, there are a number of other streams that'll be on this afternoon. Saturday afternoons from noon onwards are a huge time for the war game community to do live streaming and have chat and conversation. So make sure you're checking out, actually, if you go to the community website for CSW, for Content World community, you'll find the upcoming schedule for all the YouTube videos that are coming out. It's a great place to find everything you need to stay in tune with what's going on in our massive hobby. All right, guys, all the best. I will probably do some more video this afternoon, and won't be live streamed, but I'll be doing some recording and then pop some stuff up for OCS the third winter, and I'll finish setting up the Hanu from Decision Games. So you guys take care and all the best.